Hello and welcome back everybody to Santos for America. It's been a while, I know, but we're back. Let me turn these speakers off because they're gonna have a buzz in there. We're finally back though. It feels good to be back. Long winter break. Tomorrow is the first day of spring semester for me, so that'll be fun, I guess. Not really. Fall semester went okay. Well, got pretty good grades, pretty decent grades, but at the end, I just kind of, I I don't know. I didn't really fall apart, but I just got burnt out and I don't know. I just lost that drive, the motivation. But we're gonna try and be consistent all the way through this semester, hopefully. God willing, everything goes well. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It's a new year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody out there. Yeah, it's been. I mean, last year, reflecting on last year, the first half of 2025 was great. Second half got a little worse. My health wasn't at its best, sadly. Yeah, no, my health wasn't the best near the latter half of 2025. I had a really bad panic attack, and I had to go to the emergency room. I know it sounds kind of silly, right? Emergency room for a panic attack, but I thought I was having a heart attack. My heart rate spiked, and at its highest, at its peak, at the peak of my panic attack, my heart rate was going really fast. I was in the car driving to the hospital, and my heart rate jumped. I don't even know. I played sports, soccer, so the adrenaline, doing exercise it gets your heart rate up. But that was the fastest my heart rate has ever been, and I was just sitting in a car. That was the fastest I've ever felt my heart. The way I'd explain it is like whenever you see someone drumming, like a drummer, and I see this, and I don't know what you call it because I'm not a drummer. I don't. I'm into music, but I don't know what you call like the technique. But you see a drummer, they're like speed up. They're like, and once they start going really fast, that's how my heart felt. Genuinely, that visual, because like when you see a stick, like at the drummer and they're drumming, like it becomes like a blur. Like it just that's literally the visual representation of what I felt, how I felt my heart was beating. That's how fast it was. It was just like a blur, just and it was just. So it was bad. It was a bad panic. That was the first time I ever had it. That was the second time in my life I've ever had a panic attack, but that was the worst panic attack I've ever had, by far. I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought I was gonna die. I felt lightheaded and it was not good. And the part that scared me the most was that my left arm went kind of numb. So I'm like, oh shit, am I having a heart attack? But no, it wasn't that at all. They checked everything, my blood, they checked my thyroid, and they checked I forget what it's called, but they like checked the electricity in my heart. They put the little stickers on, right? And I was fine, there was no heart attack, no signs of a heart attack, thank God. It was just probably a panic attack, which was crazy. I never had one of those, but I guess that's what it was. But yeah, and then since then, I know it sounds silly in hindsight because I wasn't dying per se, but since then I kind of had like oh shit moment, it made me think more because like fuck, I thought I was gonna die, I wasn't dying, thankfully, and I just made me rethink life, look at life differently, and maybe I'll even put up a photo of me in the ER, when I was there, or maybe after, maybe both. I don't even know. I think my dad took some photos, um, of the aftermath, like back when I was home. But yeah, no, it made me rethink life. Yeah, it made me you know, step back for a second. Um, it was scary. It was very scary. And since then, I've gotten a bit better now. Thankfully, I was dealing a lot with I guess mental health, just anxiety in general. Because I genuinely felt like I was gonna die, and obviously looking back, I'm okay. I wasn't gonna die, but in that moment, that feeling, that fear of like, oh shit, this might be it. I have no control over this, whether if I die or not. It really scared me, and I've been thinking a lot about death since then. Um, yeah, death has crossed my mind a lot more, and since then, I had an aunt recently pass away of cancer, which is sad. Um, and a few years back, my dad's sister, my aunt, who I was pretty close with, passed away of cancer as well. And I've just been thinking about that, and then what happened, and I've just been thinking a lot about death in my life and what it means. I know, crazy, right? You know, like a brand new topic. I just fucking discovered the wheel. No, this is obviously, I mean, everybody in their life at least once thinks about death. But I think I've been thinking about death a lot more recently, maybe more than what's healthy and more than what people should be thinking about death. Um, yeah, it just made me think about everything, and I think talked to my girlfriend's mom about it a few months back, even before all this happened, and she said something interesting. She said, "When your time comes, your time comes. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, the day that you pass away, that is the day that you pass away. That is the day that was maybe not so fated to happen, but that's the day that you pass away." You know what I mean? And it's funny, and I thought about that. This was before any of this happened when she told me that, and it stuck with me even then, but now it sticks with me more. And I think about it, and I'm like, huh, we are. We all have an expiration date, obviously. Every single human walking now has an expiration date. We all have a day which we will pass on and move on to the next life. But we don't know when that day is. I mean, some of us maybe do, you know, if, you know, sadly, there's some people out there who have an illness or something, and the doctors tell them you have 6 to 8 months to live. Now, thankfully, some people, you know, overcome the odds and they survive and they make it past those 6 to 8 months. And some people die before those 6 to 8 months. Some people die during that period of 6 to 8 months. But you never know exactly the day. You never know exactly the date. Never really. Once again, there's exceptions, but the exceptions don't disprove a reality. They don't, you know, that's not the rule, right? And that's crazy. So yeah, and I was just thinking about that concept of we all have an expiration date, but we don't know when that day is. You know, we don't. Um, I mean, if you go to your refrigerator, you get a jug of milk. You'll see when the expiration date for that is, but we don't have that. We don't know. You know, tomorrow isn't promised. Uh, Memento mori, right? You know the Latin saying, "Remember that we all must die." It's a good reminder. It really is a good reminder. You know, it keeps you grounded. It makes you think of what's really important and what's not. Because life, another thing that I've realized, life is really monotonous. Like the monotony of life can get to you because you wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, you know, go to work, go to school, eat breakfast. Maybe at some point you'll eat, maybe, you know, for the most part, and it just gets really repetitive and we get stuck in that cycle of repetition and we forget that life isn't like that. You know, in our minds in that moment, since we're human beings and we have very limited minds, we think, oh, this is forever, this is eternal, right? You know, me being stuck in this boring ass stats class, it's forever. It's not forever. It's a fraction of your time. It's it's 1 second on a very limited time span that you have, you know, that you don't even know, how long your time span is, you know. So we get caught up in the monotony of life and we get caught up in the lows of life, you know? For the most part, I think most of us, we don't have to deal with too many lows, right? There's people out there in much worse situations than you are. I mean, if you even have the luxury to sit down and watch this video, I mean, if I have the luxury to sit down in my room with 2 monitors, Xbox, PC, microphone, camera, keyboard, like bed, roof over my head, let alone any of this shit, then your life maybe isn't that bad after all. I mean, right? I mean, we all have our own things that we deal with, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But if you really come to think about it, the lows in life, the lows that we experience aren't that bad in the grand scheme of things. We're not gonna die, you know what I mean? Um, don't think that it's over because it's really not, you know. If you failed that test, it's not really over. I mean, maybe if you have a cool teacher, you could retake the test or just retake the class, you know? That would suck, but it's not life ending. It's not world ending, thankfully, right? You know, obviously, there's some of us who are, like I said, who are going through a lot. You know, people in Palestine and Ukraine. Obviously, you know, there's people going in terrible situations. But for the most part, I'd like to think most of us here in the United States and who live in this country, for the most part, I think our lives aren't too bad. So I think it's worth taking advantage of the time that we have because, like I said, tomorrow isn't promised. We don't know what tomorrow waits for, we don't know what awaits us for tomorrow. So it's good to take time and, you know, appreciate it. Live in the moment, right? It's so stupid. It's so corny, but it's so true. You know, so I think yeah, this video is gonna be about time. I'm not gonna yap for too long. We hit the 10-minute mark now. We're gonna cut some of this down, so maybe it'll be 9 or 8 minutes for you, but it's good to take advantage of the time that you have because you don't know how long it is, and I think you have to take advantage of the little things. You have to I mean, you s there now, this is what I wanna segue into. I went over how life can be monotonous and the monotony of life and how everything is so repetitive that life gets boring, for a lot of people waking up, doing these things, which is why people try to chase novelty in their life. They try to chase that next high, and that leads to people, taking altering drugs, um, alcohol, weed, to the extremes like cocaine and heroin and fentanyl and all these crazy things, mushrooms. It leads to them doing that, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That's one of the main reasons why people take that. Now, some people want to escape reality, for maybe because reality isn't the reality they want. Maybe life sucks for them, whatever which way that may be. But I think a lot of people want to chase novelty in their life, and some people do that by taking drugs. Pornography is a really big one. Recently, I mean, there's anywhere you go, there's just, whether it be that or even short form content, just mindlessly scrolling. They wanna find an escape, something to make their life more enjoyable, I guess. And yeah, this is and it leads to negative things, because when you can't enjoy the simple things in life, you lose your appreciation for it, You lose your appreciation for what is life, Life isn't always this big roller coaster. There isn't always something cool going on. Sometimes it's just boring, and that's what life is. And you gotta come to accept that. And life is boring. Can be. You just gotta find meaning in it and value in it. And I think that's what makes the special moment special, because if every day is a roller coaster of events, every single day is exciting, every single day is amazing, it kind of loses meaning, right? You know what I mean? If most days are just simple, some would say boring and just casual, it's fine, you know what I mean? There's not much going on. But then once you get to that special event, it's your significant other's birthday, a relative's birthday, your birthday, weddings, you know what I mean? Going out to see a movie that you or somebody else really wanted to see, you know what I mean? Getting to read that really good book that you want to read, getting to play that dope video game you want to play, like finishing that video game, like, you know what I mean? Like, all these cool things. It gives it meaning, because not every day is that. Not every day is it gonna be that cool, you know what I mean? Maybe for one weekend you go somewhere special, you go on a vacation, Not every day is a vacation, you know what I mean? So, and it's the same thing with life. The fact that we're on a limited time span is what gives it meaning. It's what gives it its value, because this isn't forever. It isn't endless. We don't live forever. So, yeah. I think what's important is to find beauty in ephemerality. What does that mean? It means finding beauty in things that don't last. In our minds, a full lifespan of a human being can be, I don't know, like 70, 80 to 100 years, sometimes even more. And 100 years seems like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not. And it'll go by really fast. 1 second, I'll be sitting here in this chair talking to you, and then the next second, I'll be on my deathbed. That could be tomorrow. That could be 2 minutes from now. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So you have to take advantage of the time that you have and find meaning in the boring and the casual. Because I see a lot of people get depressed that their life is boring, that, they have nothing to do. And it's like, bro, be grateful that you even have that. Some people don't have time. Some people are running out of time as we speak. And you are too. So instead of sitting there moping and whining that it's boring, find meaning in that. Do something that has meaning. Find beauty in things that are ephemeral. Yeah, that's all. Have a good one.